evening, everyone. Welcome to the Manchester United Agenda. I hope everyone's watching has had a nice day, and you'll see tonight that I'm joined by two boring old faces. We know them. We know what they're saying, but we're very excited to have a special guest on tonight. So, all-purpose 66 or Trey, introduce yourself. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How's everyone been? Yeah, it's good to be back on the channel. Ain't been on for a bit of a while. Just been working and sorting a few other things. But now it's good to be back to talk about United and all
4 years.
It's not been that long, surely not.
It's been a
minute. It's been a minute.
It's been a long time. Well, look, at least you ain't
man.
converted to another team, so that's all right.
Nah,
you know
never
what
that, man. I could never, man. Never. No, but it's good to see Mr. B, Yaba, and yourself, man. It's all good to be here, man.
Good. It's a pleasure to have you here. Now, Yaba, we've been told that you've rebranded from a Monday to Yaba, and that's what we got to call you now. So how are you? How's the rebrand going?
Yeah, it's going well. I've done it for over a year now. Yaba is actually named my dog. And, and also, one of when I was growing up, my dad's friends, you know, the Jamaicans, they always have nicknames for one another, you know. They always give stupid nicknames. Well, not stupid, but nicknames. Sometimes I don't even know people's real names. I just know them by their nickname and things. Especially if you go to Jamaica, there's a guy called Happy, and there's a guy called Bossy. I'm trying to think. Can you think of any names, Mr. Beeves, like of Jamaicans with nicknames?
Fuzzy, Sleepy, Dopey, Angry,
Herbals, you know, all these funny names. So I named my dog Yaba, and then I love the name so much I've decided to call myself Yaba Forbes, and I think it helps as well because Yaba is yabbing on. That's what you get the name for, talking a lot or whatever, and it's easier than Omondi Juma. That was my reason I had to scrap that is because I got banned from TikTok and Facebook using that.
You got banned from Omondi?
Yeah, so I was posting things I shouldn't have, and so I removed. And they do facial recognition and all that kind of thing. So I had to rebrand myself and come back as someone they couldn't recognize. You know, so this is a new me. And thanks since yesterday, Mr. B started to call me Yaba, and hopefully Bath Time will as well now. So. Yeah, it's Yaba.
I like the fact you say facial recognition because it brings to the mind that, like, when you sign into stuff, you just have to hold your dog's face up to the phone. Thank you. And Mr. B, how are you today?
I'm good, man. Middle of the week, 2 days and count until Friday, mate. 2 days and count until Friday.
Then it's match day, man.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's Mr. B's time to perform on a Friday. All right, should we have a look at the comments, guys?
Yeah. You want to go through them? Yeah.
First off, we got Kalo 2000, the HD gamer. He thinks Man United is in a good position right now. The squad needs a midfielder, which we're close to getting now. We got Zerchi, Hoyland, Garnacho, and Ahmad looking promising. Then there's Mount, Casemiro, Bruno, which isn't much of a better midfield in England at the moment, apart from City and Arsenal. Maybe we can come back to that. We've got Bart. I sent Bart a message today, and the first thing I asked him to do was stop bringing up Liverpool and his trolling. So he starts off with Liverpool have a better midfield. Liverpool have a midfield that's more suited in terms of the way their manager wants to play. Spurs have more depth and arguably more quality. I don't know about that. Do Spurs have a lot of depth in midfield?
Their midfield's not better than ours.
Nah, their midfield, no way.
Yeah.
Well done, Bart.
Yeah, good one. You played yourself, Bart. And we got DK Wilson, who's saying, big up, everyone. Where is DK Wilson from today, Yaba?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. He's
No. Atlantic City. My favorite boxing venue from the 80s. Atlantic City.
Okay. And we've got Matty Bassett, who's saying, big up, everyone. We've also got Andrew, who's in the house. And of course, we've got We Deserve Better. And he's asking, what does All-Purpose 66 stand for?
Okay, that's a great question, actually. So I've started up a YouTube channel. So it's like me, and my mum are doing like a YouTube channel on like different topics and stuff. So just a little bit of new branding stuff. Still TMJ, but on all purpose, I missed the T for that show. So yeah, just trying to get.
It's not a
your
cooking
mum-
channel, is it? Because
Yeah, what are you talking to your mum about?
No, so it's just like general life, general topics. Like just a more different branding. Obviously, there's a bit of football in there, but mainly just live.
You talk about football with your mum?
No.
Oh.
Is she
I
a
wish-
Ten Hag out?
She's not really into football, but just more different topics. So it could be like what's going on with the week. Could be like Jamaica, for example, like Vibes Cartel, stuff like that, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, good. I'll pretend I know what that means. Not my kind of cartel, Mr. B. So Simon Wharton is saying, greetings to the gang of four. How goes the day? We've had a great day, and I hope you have too. Andrew is rebranding. He's now Buddy Williams.
Very funny.
Oh, Mr. B, that's twice you've spat in a week. Amondi, surely your name should be Yappa Yappa, or has bath time beaten you to it? Good one.
Very good. Very good.
Aces has a comment that I'm not comfortable reading out. And he says, another comment that I'm not too comfortable reading out. United will lose the next two games, unfortunately. We've got Kieran, who's saying Bart is salty because he's a Liverpool fan and we have 20 league titles. And DK Wilson's a bit unhappy with you, Yabba. New Jersey is known as the armpit of the US. It's filled with Italian boys and men wanting to appear macho. And check this out. Virgilio Santos, my guy Trey.
That's my guy in the chat. Big up Jules. Covered.
He could sign for any club with that name like that, couldn't he?
Yeah, and look, Double A's just popped in to laugh. All right, Trey, earlier on, right, we had comments about we're in a good position, and then we had Bart saying that our midfield wasn't that good. How are you feeling about United at the moment with transfer business and with the squad as it stands today?
I think we're in quite a fortunate position because I think where the squad is now and where it was before, we've got better. There's areas that I would like to improve, like the midfield, for example. I think we probably need one or two more, maybe a left back, but I doubt it because of the funds and limitations. But I think going forward in the attacking areas, when you're looking at Højlund, Xerxes, Ahmad, Garnacho, Rashford as well, there's Sancho there as well. Anthony is on the books, but you're not really going to really include him in the team because he's not really lived up to the expectation. But I think we've got options and there's a lot to change because Xerxes can play many different roles. In the midfield at the moment, I'm not Casemiro's biggest fan, but you keep him on for probably another year, then move him on. If you get a guy and that also bolsters it up, I would probably move on Eriksen. Bruno's Bruno, Kobe's Kobe. Brilliant. Those two brilliant, and then McTominay is looking like he might stay or potentially maybe go to Napoli. Doesn't really want the Fulham move, which I hear it. They're getting Zanderberg and another midfielder possibly. They're getting Joachim Andersen at the back, but I think our midfield's all right. At the centre back, you've obviously got De Ligt now, Maguire, Martinez, Lindelof apparently might be staying. Wan-Bissaka's gone out the window. Mazraoui's there, so I think there's strengths in there. There's a bit of tweaks, but I think we're more stabilized this season because of how we've bolstered it, and it's looking quite good at the moment. I mean, we won our first game. Our striker scored first time at Stretford End. Can't go wrong. So
I just want to follow something up that you've said there, which is like Anthony is on the books, but you don't expect to see a lot of him. Do you think that it's game over for Anthony at Old Trafford? And how many games would you expect to see him featuring this year as we're looking at a 60-game season?
His situation's kind of like, from a human standpoint, I do feel a bit sorry for him because he got bought at a high price tag, which no one really wanted to pay that money for. If you're looking at someone else, you probably look at Kudus and thought he was the better profile for what we needed. But Ten Hag wanted him and was adamant to go and get him. Now he's come in, started quite well the season when he first came in, then just went down. It just went downhill with him. So I don't know. Like, it's weird with him because I don't even like. He was on the bench the last game. I don't think he came on really. So if he does play, I'll be. Yeah, it's like he warmed up, but I'll be lucky if he plays. If he plays about 15 games this season, it will be lucky if he gets that because the manager's 15 starts even because Garnacho is better than him on the right wing for me and offers a lot more. Ahmad's there and it's looking like more of the favourite. Sancho's there as well. Rashford's there. So I just think I don't know what he can really do to win the manager over, but it's weird because that's Ten Hag's guy. Like Ten Hag brought him over, so it's like your key asset in Antony because he got bought for a big fee. You're not even using him, and this is where I get at the manager because it's like you were so adamant to get Antony over, and it's looking like it hasn't worked out, and it's just a load of money wasted because he's not playing. He's on dough, so his wages are getting paid. He's not going to be playing week in week out. So it's just like the money is it's just been a big waste, I'll be real. So
all right. So Mr. B, we've heard from Trey on that. What in terms of Sancho and Antony, who do you expect to start more games this season if they both remain like fit?
Shit.
Tough.
Oh my God. I think Sancho might offer more.
Okay.
But I'm not sure he would start more games than Antony, just because I still think there's a situation at the club. I still think of the fact that, I think Sancho. Oh, fucking hell.
All right. Who would you want to start more? Who would you want to start more?
Sancho. I think Antony's pathetic.
Okay. And do you think that the addition of Mazraoui, if he plays right back with that relationship that he has with Antony, do you think that might get something out of Antony?
No, I think Antony's finished. I don't see how a player who is not in his head, who's going to be, unless Mazraoui's controlling him, telling him where to pass, where to run, then he's got no chance because you've seen what Antony does. We've seen what Antony does. We laughed when he did his little pirouette. We all thought there was going to be more to come, but that's the most.
That was it.
That was it. That was it. So no, I think Antony's done at United. I'm not sure how they move him on. I mean, the thing is, he has to play to advertise these skills, but
yeah,
I don't think we can. Let's see, unless he's doing the Coca-Cola games. But I want to win. I want to win stuff. So maybe I would even play him in that.
All right. But before we get to you, I just want to run through the comments because you know what these little gremlins are like. First up, we've got Bart saying he's liked every single video by this channel since April. That's really nice of you, Bart. Thank you. And please remember to pop a like in. Maybe subscribe if you're new. I'm not your mother. I'm not telling you what to do. You do what you want. And someone who does what he wants is Bilal, who's saying, "Good evening, gents." So we got Double A here saying thoughts on Maxi Oyedele going. Double A, if you hold on, we'll get to that after we finish the Antony conversation about our youth and things. We've also got Rajat saying, "Hi, what's up?" Is that Palestri in a Fenerbahce away shirt? I'm not sure. But I know what Andrew wants, and he wants a picnic. And we got We Deserve Better with a great point saying, "Wasn't Mazraoui brought in to unlock Antony? I flog him myself." Let us know if you mean that like as a metaphor or you'd literally flog Antony, because I'm nearer one way than the other. And Bart says Antony is unsellable currently. I can see him featuring during Carabao Cup and then sent on loan in January. I'd be pretty happy with that, lads.
Yeah, I click that.
And then he points out that Antony was chosen over Gakpo, and of course Trey said, "Did you say Kudos earlier as well?"
Yeah, Kudos was an option, but we didn't really look at it properly.
Okay.
At the time, but yeah, Gakpo as well. He was an option as well, but he wanted to move because it was during the World Cup period, and he wanted to move at that point. And then we didn't want to. We wanted to wait a bit and then get him, but he wanted to move now, so then he took Liverpool.
Well, he definitely played against Rangers in a qualifier for PSV, and they lost it. So I wonder if PSV might have said, "Let's see, wait, see if we can qualify for the Champions League, and if we can't, we sell him." But Wizard Better is saying Ahmad followed by Garnacho on the right wing, so no mention of Sancho or Anthony. Breaking news from Simon Warner: Chelsea are making a bid for Sancho. I'd normally file this alongside Mbappe to Kilmarnock, but it's Chelsea. So who knows? Andrew says, look, Chelsea are just mentally ill. And We Deserve Better wants to literally flog Anthony. Okay, but you've been waiting patiently. Tell us what you think about this Anthony Sancho situation.
Yeah, when you asked Mr. B the question, I was sort of stumped a bit because I was thinking about it. For me, Sancho's a better player. I mean, he's very more versatile. He's not stuck in one position. You can't just pigeonhole him as a right winger. He can play anywhere along the forward line. He's even played as a false nine. And I think he's super talented. I'm taking away the attitude that's what I dislike. But as a footballer, I think he's proven, with his time in Germany and what he's done out there and different spells, that he can play a good football game. But I just think there's other issues going on with him which make it the relationship difficult, as Mr. B was saying. So to ask that question, I would think Sancho automatically being on football terms, yes, Sancho should be getting games. But we don't know what the relationship is like, if it's been soiled, whether they're just smiling for the camera, but behind the scenes they still haven't made up. There's still some resentment there from both the manager and Sancho as well. I think for Sancho, he needs to have a word with himself because he's at the age now. He just missed out on the Euros. He should be in his prime. When he was 18, he probably thought, right, I've got the Euros. Every 2 years, I've got a tournament to shine. The world is mine. The world is my oyster. And nothing's happened since the Euros at England. He's been out of favour because of his club career and his bad attitude. And I'm damn right, we were right to sort of discipline players that didn't have the right attitude, and we want to change the culture of the club. So he either gets on board with the culture and starts playing football, then he can get in on merit, or he needs to go. And if there's a Chelsea bid or something, I can imagine they would accept it. As for Anthony, I'm really feel for the guy. I really do feel sorry for him. He's come big, like Trey was saying, he's come with a big price tag, and he's stunk the place out. I'm starting to think, how can he improve? I'm always looking for positives. How can he improve his game? But I think there's an opportunity here this season with the way we're playing. We're improving. We're playing a bit more confidence in the team. I think if he just sits back, gets that, works hard in training, and tries to change his game, he can come into a winning side maybe if we start performing really well, and just walk into the side like a duck to water and just do what he needs to do. Before, I think he was trying too hard for one. He's young. You can see his mentality. You can see it in his eyes. He's a bit of a nutter, isn't he? So for me, there's a few factors. He's trying too damn hard to please. As Mr. B said, doing that stupid pirouette. That's saying to the fans, look at me, showtime. But you've got to understand he's playing for a team, a big team, and it's not about showtime or doing one-on-one skills or flip-flaps and all that kind of thing. That's trash, to be honest, because Garnacho is just bursting people with pace, dropping the shoulder and going and making people fall in their backside and all that kind of thing. So he needs to change his game, change his attitude. So both players, both Sancho and Anthony, need an attitude adjustment. Maybe we get John Cena along and give him one of their moves, an attitude adjustment. And if they do that, whoever does that first has got a good opportunity to get in the side, because there's only, like you said, there's two youngsters in Garnacho and Ahmad. Could be fragile. They might not get, might get injured or something. And then you've got Rashford, who's temperamental at best. So there's an opportunity there. They just need to fix up that attitude first. And the first one to do it could get a lot of games this year.
All right. So, like, you've talked about attitude, and you also mentioned changing their game. Yeah. I'd like to ask all of you what you think it is that a Ten Hag winger needs, and then maybe we can sort of like get closer to who is going to start more games. So, Amonde, Yaba, I'll continue with you because you've brought up change their game.
So the ID for me, to being a Ten Hag so-called winger, when you look at, I'm going back to Ajax, I'm going to back what we see today. I think you had Tadic, who we saw him at Southampton. I don't think he was a winger, but I think he can hold the ball and be a wide playmaker. And then the other side, you've had Neves at Ajax as well, who could burst and had a bit more pace and that kind of thing. So I think anyone, and we've got variety. We haven't got like for like. There we've got Sancho, wide playmaker, can link up, brings people into play, and then we've got someone like Rashford and Garnacho who like to be a bit more direct. And then you've got Ahmad as well, who also likes to link up and play. So with Antony, I think Antony should try to be a bit more of a playmaker, as in play 1-2s, triangles to beat players. Don't try and beat players with little squaring people up and try and do little futsal skills and all that kind of rubbish. He's not Falcao. He can't do that in the Premier League. And it doesn't work. He's getting munched by slow fullbacks, you know? So I think to change...
Falcao didn't do it either in the Premier League.
Falcao, no, I'm talking about Falcao, the futsal player.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he's a fantastic, the best futsal player ever. You know, so I think for this, so Sancho, we've seen him get in. He's a playmaker. He can do triangles, link up, and score, and be a team player. Same applies to Antony. He needs to get the ball, make runs off the angles, makes runs in behind rather than getting it to feet all the time. You know, come off the line. You know, get more teamwork going with his teammates. 1-2 touch football. Stop holding it up and stop looking for showtime all the time, and then he will be more of an asset. So Sancho's already got the game. Antony just needs to stop going showtime, stop squaring people up, looking to one-on-ones and all that kind of thing. Be more of a team player. Look at Saka. I think you should base the game on Saka, who comes off the line, works really hard, keeps the ball really well. It sticks to him, and he could do the business. I think Antony's got the ability to do it, but it's just about changing his game where he can get it. So when with Mazraoui, whatever his name is, he's a different fullback now. He's going to give us more options going forward. You can see him running, taking defenders out with him. There's going to be more space for someone in that right wing position. Antony needs to get the ball out his feet, give and go, and get inside. And don't wait too long. Just make dynamic, just simple passes, execute early, and then he can be effective.
So are you saying like more variety and more directness are needed from Antony?
From Antony, simplify the game. Don't try. You're not going to beat people for pace. 1-2s, play it into feet and go. You know, you got people around him. Play with Xerxes. He's a good pinball. He's like a pinball wizard. Play it into his feet, bam, and just bounce off him and go. You're going to get more joy out of someone like that. There's a target there. Bruno, play him a little into play with players in and around him rather than trying to do things all himself. Showtime, you can't do that in the Premiership, and he's realizing that now.
Right.
Use teammates.
Yeah, team player. Okay, Trey, we've heard a lot about from Amonde, and surprisingly, we've heard a lot from Yaba, Mr. Forbes, and surprisingly, we haven't heard anything about work rate, pressing, defensive skills. Is there anything that you want to bring into this conversation?
Yeah, so unlike what Ten Hag would want from a winger, he loves his high pressing. We know that from like the Ajax days and just that his profile of winger, and that's what you kind of would have thought with Antony in that mold. He likes it with Garnacho because Garnacho works his socks up and stuff. I think off the ball as well is a lot of what he likes as well. So like tracking back a little bit. I'm a bit different with it because it's like I want my attackers more so dominating forward because we've got our fullbacks and midfielders to cover certain areas. Obviously you have to track back, but it's like you want your forwards doing the damage going forward and linking play and creating chances. Being very direct and just linking play with others like Bruno. He likes to create an abundance of chances. Ahmad, you can see he wants to be creative. Sancho likes to be creative, likes to do 1-2s between triangles and in between the lines as well. And yeah, I think with what we have, we've got a variety of different forwards at this time, which we kind of didn't have at the same time. And then now you've got Xerxes who can link play. You can see even in the first game with the Fulham, he started his goal as well. So like he started it from like, how can I say, from like near the halfway line, then bopped up from the right hand side. Garnacho put the ball in, and then he got a nice little toe poke finish, which was very difficult by the way as well. So I think with what we want from our wingers is to kind of like start play but end it within the box and just create more an abundance of chances.
Okay. Just before we get to you, Mr. B, I'm going to do the comments, if that's okay, unless you've got a burning issue. No, you're fine. Right, we've got Agile Beast saying he says we haven't seen Sancho and Højlund on the pitch together, and it's been over a year, which is an interesting point. I hope you're doing well, Agile Beast. We Deserve Better is just exhausted with Sancho, like just getting ahead of him. We have Chat Sport popping in for a bit of chat. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Got Double A. Don't know. Garnacho tries the tricks though. He's dropped step overs and has then fallen over. They also missed an open goal at the weekend. Simon can't wait until Højlund returns. Then we won't need Sancho, not with Xerxes in the squad now. So I think, Simon, are you saying that you see Højlund possibly as a right winger? Like, I mean, he's left-footed. He's fast. He's strong. Could work out. And in relation to Garnacho, excuse me, I think he needs to learn when to pass and when to shoot. He's a little selfish, but he's very talented. It's a good point, Bart. Garnacho took over 100 shots in the Premier League last year and scored 7 goals. True, he does always do them. Anthony does try more skill and perhaps at the wrong times in the wrong areas. That's a very good point. And look, Trey, We Deserve Better just sub to your channel. Your mother is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And someone who isn't beautiful, it's Solo. How are you doing, Solo? I hope you're all right. And look at this. We just need Fred back in that midfield.
Oh my God.
And then he's watching Mr. B's reaction.
Okay.
Have I seen Billy Gilmore play? I have. Can he be a good regista? I don't know Italian football terms, but it's Spanish for me. Okay, Mr. B, you with us?
Yeah. Sorry, being interrupted.
Are you able to talk about Sancho and Anthony?
Yeah. Look, the Sancho situation, I think Ten Hag wants players who can keep hold of the football. For one, he won't going to waste it and maybe be able to work in the system that he has up. I mean, you don't necessarily want your wingers to run in the outside. You don't want them to run in the inside, but you want them to make the right choice at the right time. I'm just not sure Anthony has the speed of thought maybe for the Prem. Because if you look at what he was doing at Ajax, he was really good at Ajax. You look at I didn't see him play the games, but if you over amount of time you look at videos and it wasn't just the same games. You know, some videos you see it's the same game that they have. There was a multitude of games where he actually did really, really well in the games. So I was expecting him to be able to step up. The court case didn't help, but that's his business, isn't it? He plays football. He plays football for my club. Whatever he did or didn't do is by the by. I want to see his performances on the pitch. I don't care that he did whatever he did or whatever he didn't do. I want to see him, and he hasn't been performing. Sancho has all the talent in the world, but his attitude is F the world, it seems like. He's at the biggest club he's going to be at because he ain't going to go nowhere bigger than us. And he's thrown the chance away. So, you know, no club's going to pay him the money that we're paying him.
He's on like 300 and something K a week. So.
Right. Nobody's paid him that. So get your head down and decide that you want to play. But I just think that he was brought back in to maybe not up his price, but to show that, you know, if you do want him, you're going to have to pay a certain amount of money for him because we still want him in the team. He didn't play the first game. I don't think he's going to be in the second game either.
You know?
No, I don't. But we're not doing what Chelsea are doing with Raheem and the rest of those players who they've just bombed out. I don't know. I don't see Sancho being here after January. And that's the same with Anthony. I think they can both be replaced. Whether or not the club decide that they're going to take a minimum fee for them and let them go, or they're going to loan them out. But I think both of them will be gone in January.
Do you think there's appetite for them, though?
Say again?
Do you think there's any appetite for them? Do you think there are clubs out there that are like, lads, do you know what we need? Anthony. Or do we want to bring Sancho?
I don't. I mean, Sancho had, they were talking about all these Sancho bum boys when he was playing for Dortmund. Playing for Dortmund. Oh, look how great he is. Blah blah blah. Dortmund didn't want him. You haven't heard Dortmund's name. They've used him for the Champions League. Even if they'd won the Champions League, he still wouldn't have signed for them. You know what I mean? There's nowhere. I don't know where he goes.
So why do you
get more takers for Sancho though?
Sorry, Trey?
I think you get more takers for Sancho than Anthony though.
What, on his wages?
For like the more. No, I'm just saying, like, I think more clubs would look at Sancho's profile and probably take him because he's more adaptable to play different roles and positions than Anthony, who's just more of a one-trick pony because he's gonna cut in his left foot.
No trick
or
pony.
Try. Yeah.
What about his attitude though? Like Trey, like, do you think that like clubs will want to bring someone in who hasn't performed and like this is for Sancho?
Yeah, I feel the attitude thing is a bit selective because it's like when he's comfortable and playing well, you think, wow, he's a talent. And he is a talent, but it's one of those ones where I would want Sancho to be a bit more aggressive and just kind of just earn his spot. So like, I'm a big Marcus Rashford fan, and if he's playing better than Marcus Rashford, then I want him in the team because he's playing better. That's what I'd want Sancho to do. And because you're at the biggest club in the world, and it's true what Mr. B said, after this, where do you go from here? Because you're not going to get a bigger club than Man United. Real Madrid are not going to call you. Barcelona are not going to call you. Like, they ain't really even got the funds, but Real Madrid are not going to call you because they've got players like Rodrigo, Vinicius, Mbappe. They're sorted. So I think after Man United, it's only going to be lower than this club. But I see a lot of tweets and a lot of hype around it. I mean, yes, Sancho, the talent is there because he's got the ability, but your ability is only as good as if you work for it. So he's just got to work. That's just my opinion. I just think he's got to deliver and do it in the moments where it's consistent, and consistency will always put you on that scale. If you're not consistent, then you can't really showcase that you're that guy or that player that should start week in, week out on the team sheet. So he needs to do it in Man United shirt. That's all I can say. I'll be real. Like, once he does it consistently, then yeah.
Do you think there's anything that Sancho or Anthony can do in regards to this is anything at all to get in ahead of the players ahead of them, even in training, attitude wise, it could be injury, touch wood, dear God, the players ahead of them don't get injured. But can you see any way, even in training, that they can actually get in?
Yeah.
You do, you do, Amanda, yeah?
The factors that kept Andy on the side is his poor performance. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist last season.
Yeah.
So not performing properly. He had opportunity. He was playing every game we were signed when we saw the team sheet. The reason why Sancho's out the side is because he's got a poor attitude. So if you start being professional and ticking all the boxes, what you're supposed to do, these are things you're supposed to do as a professional. You sign the contract, you turn up on time, you've got the right attitude, you're 110%, you train hard, you present the club, you present yourself really well on the pitch, outside of football as well. You don't have any sort of scandals or anything like that coming to you. If you do all those things, and then you've got a fair chance of being picked on merit. But when you're not doing those things, the standard things you're supposed to do, like Sancho hasn't done when he's playing FIFA at 3 a.m. or not apologising for the issue that we still don't know the details of, but just to me, I think he's in the wrong. Regardless, because
you don't know the details, but he's wrong.
Shall I tell you why I think he's in the wrong? Because
you love authority.
Yeah, well, in a football club, you're contracted to play football, and you're contracted as the manager, whoever it is. The managers come and go, but they're the ones who's in charge and tell you how to instruct you and how to perform on the pitch and what to do, what your role is. If you start challenging the manager and thinking you're over the manager, just like Ronaldo, you'll be out of the club, and you can't do that. And that's why I'm glad that Ten Hag is restoring discipline back into the culture of the club, because in this day and age, people are running the rule, doing whatever they want to do. It's not just player footballers. The youth, the young generation, is a different kind of attitude out here, where people think they know it all. and they think they're unruly, you know. So there's in the Bible it says about the rod of correction, and it's not about beating someone with a rod; it's about giving someone the rod of correction to steer them in the right path, and that's what the manager has to do with our boy Sancho.
Rodaldinho. Sorry. But I think Amonde, but I think some of the things that like have been forgotten is that Anthony has shown a stinky attitude as well. There are those clips of him like refusing to play at left back. There's been unsubstantiated stories that Anthony kicked off at the FA Cup final alongside Casemiro, with him sort of being benched for probably the biggest game of his career. I'm of the opinion that Ten Hag has got a bit in common with myself, where he likes to hold a grudge. And for me personally, there is no way that those players can come back. And I think the same thing happened to Martial at the Newcastle game, where he was like showing demonstrable signs of like disrespect towards Ten Hag on the pitch. In order for them to get back in, I just can't see it, because their character, they've shown what they're capable of, and it's like, you know, the story of the scorpion and the frog.
Tell us.
Right, a frog is like running a sort of taxi company.
Yeah,
and he's taking people across the river, right? Which is ironic, because I believe that doesn't happen in London after a certain point at night. And the scorpion goes, "I need to get to the other side, mate." And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Look, you're going to sting me if you do." "Ah, of course not. We'll both drown." Halfway across, he stings him, and the frog goes, "What are you doing?" And the scorpion goes, "Lol, it's my nature."
Yeah.
And so the moral of that fable is that people's natures don't change. And that is why with Anthony and Sancho, where they've been in situations, and you compare them to people like Eriksen, Maguire, McTominay, maybe even Lindelof, who never acted like that, you look at those two and you're like, they're bad apples. I don't care what they do anymore. Once bitten, twice shy. And that would be my take on it.
I think the story about the scorpion and the frog, I'm sure it's something, not a scorpion. The one I've heard is maybe a snake or crocodile and the something.
Either way, they eat him and they drown.
Yeah, makes sense.
He eats them. All right, should we look at some comments?
Yeah.
All right. Actually, first of all, Steph is back.
How have you been, Steph? We notice when certain people are missing. I hope you're well.
Yeah. Right. We got Bart saying the only way Dortmund would take Sancho off United hands is if Jadon would have taken a pay cut. And I think that's a good point. Is there an appetite for Sancho to go and play football, or does he just want to be picking up mega wages? And Double A say wages is the same for Anthony too. And I agree, actually. It doesn't matter how much Anthony is paid. It's the fact he gets a wage for being a professional.
He's still earning a bit. He's still earning a big living. Like
200 bags he's on, isn't he?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Wow.
And Windsor Better's got a good point, saying that like Sancho's loan at Dortmund was good. You know, he performed well, no attitude from him. So maybe some managers will think they can unlock him, that he's a bargain or something. Kieran, on the other hand, thinks that Anthony would need surgical work to improve, but maybe adding a right foot to his body. I'm not sure. Yes, Rivers 7 UK, good man. EA, that game is so bad now. Anyway, we got Yali Marlin. How have you been, sir? We hope that you're doing well as well. Andrew saying that everyone knows this story. Yabba obviously had a different copy where, what was it? A hippopotamus ate a dragon or something. Anthony owned up to his left back request spat in that interview. Did he, Agile Beast? I haven't seen that.
He did, yeah.
And then good one from Bilal. Doe taxis. All right, good stuff. So earlier on, Double A talked about Maxi Odeyele going on loan. I'm really gutted that Will Fish has been sold. I was Will Fish beat 3 men twice for a header against Liverpool, which is a rare skill. We saw Jack Fletcher, I think, last night scoring an absolute banger for the reserve.
Yeah.
I saw that. That's a cracking goal.
Okay, so what I'm going to use AA's comment to sort of springboard off is that I think that this season expectations for Ten Hag have changed a little bit, where he's no longer in control of transfers, he's no longer in control of the food hygiene rating and raw chicken and all this kind of stuff. I think that one of the biggest things that we can judge Ten Hag on this season is how he takes the 3 players from the Golden Boy list, Yoro, Kobe, Garnacho, and also all these other players. What are expectations for the youth this season, and what would constitute good management and success and progress for them, Trey?
Okay, so do you mean like expectations just for the young youth or just general expectations?
No, for specifically for that core of really talented young players. What do you need to see happen this season from them on the pitch and how they're managed off the pitch?
Okay, so managing their minutes for a start, because obviously they should be playing, but obviously Euro's injured now, but just earning your spot and earning your stripes would be the main one. So I don't want to be seeing 60, 70 games playing, because that they can just burn out really quick, and because they're young and a bit fragile, you don't want them to burn out. Like, for example, like Pedri played like something ridiculous, like 60 odd games. Then he went to the Olympics, and he's having these occurring injuries that are just kind of like stagnating his career. He's a good player, but he's not been managed correctly. So I'd like Kobe to be playing games, but be rotated when needed to. So I know he's not everyone's favorite cup of tea at the minute, but Mason Mount, for example, if he was playing decent enough, should be playing games, because he's on a big wage as well and can play in the same position as Kobe.
Okay, so where would you take? Why and when would you take Kobe out?
It's not even necessarily like to drop Kobe. I just think he doesn't have to play every game, and because we've got a big squad. So like, if you get a Ugarte, for example, which could potentially happen, which I think it will. If you get a guy, you can manage him and Kobe and even Casemiro, who's in his later 30s, that it can just be rotated. So we've got loads of games, like you've got the Europa League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. Kobe doesn't have to play every game. He could be sat out. So like, if we have 2 games in a week, you've got a Europa League game on like a Thursday, and then you've got a game on Sunday. You could play, I don't know, Mount, let's say Ugarte, and then I don't know, Bruno in the one game, and then Kobe, Bruno, and then Casemiro on the Sunday. So it's just like managing their minutes. And then same with Garnacho as well. Like, he doesn't play every game. Rashford doesn't play every game. Depending on what the manager does, but you still want to have your main 11 core, but just tweak it in some essences depending on who we're playing. So if it's like a lower league side in like the League Cup, you could kind of change the like 8 of the starting 11 and then just tweak it. But you want to go for these cups as well. And I was even saying it last season. Yes, Ten Hag's won a trophy, but we finished 8th. So in my opinion, we've regressed, because you finished 3rd in your first season, 8th in your second season. This is your 3rd season now. So I'm expecting you to get back into the top 4, which I think we can do. But I want that Europa League. I want all the trophies. Yes, I'm greedy. I want all the trophies. I want it all. I'm a Man United fan. Like, my standards haven't dropped. Like, I've said this as well. Like, why is it we can't go for these other trophies? We're not going to win the Premier League. I don't think we will. But what I want is other trophies. You have to build success by winning. And I'm not a loser. I'm sorry. I don't like losing. I'll admit I'm competitive. I don't like losing, innit? So you got to be winning these things. And you're at Man United. You're not at Burnley. You're not at Spurs. And I'm going to say you're not at Spurs, that bottomless club. You have to win trophies. This is what my club's been on, like winning trophies. This is our worst period, and we still win trophies. Some clubs can't talk. Arsenal, you ain't won nothing in 5 years. I just have to put it out there. But anywho, you have to keep winning trophies, and that's how you just keep winning. Winning brings success and brings players the attraction to come to Manchester United, and that's what you got to keep doing. So I just think with Kobe, Euro, Garnacho, you just have to manage their minutes, play them when they're keep playing them because they're going to get better once you're playing, but manage their minutes. You don't have to keep playing them repeatedly. You've got a big squad, rotate it when you need to, and just manage it properly. But we all want them to do really well.
Okay. Well, I hope the Spurs and Arsenal fans aren't in the room with you now and that you're safe. Because we've had, I think, our biggest ever donation come in. And it's completely unnecessary, Tyrone. I don't know what you're doing. Big up to everyone in the chat and on the panel, feeling optimistic about United's chances if we can get Ugarte over the line. I hope we can sign a left back too.
Thank you, Tyrone.
Incredibly kind, and no one has to do this, but we're eternally grateful. Looking forward to having you back on the show at some point with your new profile picture. So go on, Mr. B, say thank you.
Yeah, I will say a big shout out to Tyrone. I said, you guys, you lot are more than welcome to come on. Trey's been sitting down in the group. I'm going to put it out there, Trey. You've been sitting down in that panelist group for a long time. And this is the first time. It doesn't matter. I don't need an explanation. I don't need an explanation. I don't want an explanation.
I'm gonna try and keep it more of a regular thing.
Thank you very much. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Half time.
Yeah.
We were talking about obviously we've drifted on players coming in. We've lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of players. Is there anybody you feel that we should look? I'm going to go through the list, right? We've got, I'm not going to say where they've gone. Alvaro Fernandez, Forson, Greenwood, Cambuala, Huddleston, your guy. Marcus Lawrence. I have no idea who that is. Anthony Martial, Charlie McNeil, Palestri, Kai Plumley, Shola Shurituri. I don't know if I've said his name right. Van der Beek, Varane. I didn't even know that we loaned out Vitek. Wan-Bissaka, Brandon Williams, and Tom Wooster. I'm sure there's probably going to be a couple more on here that we haven't got. Are we happy with what we released? This is for everybody, or do you feel that we should have kept hold of a few of those guys?
You know that there's one in particular, which is Forson. I was a huge fan of Forson from the minutes that I saw. I love, Amari Forson. Anyone, right, who starts out wide and attacks on a diagonal causes immense problems on a football pitch because you're going across different defenders' areas in a zonal block, and it's something that very few of our players do. Do you know the only other one who does it is Delo. You know those crazy long balls that we play, and suddenly Delo turns up with a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Like Delo is going across loads of different players' areas, so it's difficult to pick him out. And I know no one else liked him, but I really, really liked Forson's ability to combine and just keep going on that diagonal. And the other one is Will Fish, because when I saw Will Fish beat 3 players, Liverpool players, twice at corners to make contact with the ball, that is an elite skill. It wasn't from running jumps, it was from a standing jump. And to be able to sort of dominate in your area without having that inertia, just getting up, timing, making first contact, I think that's an elite level skill, and one that is crucial. The rest of them, I'm not that bothered about. I wish them all the best in their careers. None of them I felt let us down. I forgave Wan-Bissaka in the end. Sorry?
Big up Wan-Bissaka, man.
I don't know about bigging him up. I'll just say thank you. You did a good job in the FA Cup final. If only you'd done it the year before and it hadn't been switched off and gave them the treble. But anyway, that would be my views on it. Yeah, but what are you saying? Who's the angel going this group?
Yeah, so originally, you were talking about the youth players, how they can get to the side. I want to see development of the club. I want to see if they're staying around, if they're not going on loan. Loan is a good way to get development because you're going to be playing first team football regular. That's good for these players at this age. They need to be playing regular. And to hear the contradiction, because some people are saying, oh, we can't burn out young players. You made a good point about Pedri and everything by burning them out. But if they're going on loan and playing 30, 40 games a season, suddenly it's a different attitude. Oh, it's good for them. They're developing. So it's either one or the other. You're going to be playing first team football in the first team at Man United, or you're going out on loan. You're still playing football. The whole point is, for me, to develop, you need to be playing football. You can't just be sitting there playing your under 21 game and then turning up in your suit and sitting on the bench and watching the first team. You know, that's not development, in my opinion. So the way to do it, for youngsters, you select them, you look at them. Like there was a comment earlier. I thought we were selling him. Talk about OD, the midfielder,
ODA.
Yeah, ODA or whatever. I like him, so I'm thinking, oh God, we haven't sold him, have we? But it turns out to be a loan deal. So that's just suggesting to me that they're saying, we like you. Here's the profile that we want you to play to get yourself into first team. First of all, go out on loan. Show you what you got, like Beckham did at Preston or whatever. Show what you got. Get that game time, senior football, and come back and see. We'll assess you again in the summer, and then we can assess you to see if you're ready for the first team. Then that's how it should be, very simply. So we've got players who are young who are already in the first team. You mentioned the three. The guy we signed, Euro, Garnacho, and Kobe. Those are the starlets, the little gems that we have in the side. Those guys, they need to be playing football. This is the thing. And because they're in and around the first team, I think they will. You're asking how would, with Martinez, Maguire, and De Ligt now, how is Euro going to get into the side, for example? I think he will. His price tag and the expectation of fans, we will want to see him get games. And I think he will have a little bligh like Anthony got for his price tag where he got games. I think Euro will start to get into the first team and start playing a lot more games. Then we're looking at Garnacho. No one's fussed about it, even though he scored overhead last season and it is his breakout season. And all of a sudden, everyone wants Ahmad in, it seems. The majority of fans want Ahmad in ahead of him. So once again, he has to fight for his place. And that's good for him because you want to keep him hungry. I don't like the idea of Garnacho with he's different to Kobe, but with Garnacho specifically, I don't like the idea of him getting first team football and just expecting it. Because then I think maybe he might get a bit lax about it. You need to keep players like him on his toes, I believe. That's just from the outside. I don't know him personally. Kobe is cool. He's got maturity of a 27, 30-year-old footballer. He plays his game, and I feel he's got a hunger and a driver anyway. He's taken all in his stride. England, scoring an FA Cup final, breakout season, all the admiration he gets from players and fans. I think he handles it really well, and I don't see any issue with pushing his button to get motivated. I think he's going to play great. So, if anyone's remaining at the club regarding young players and they're not going out alone, it's their responsibility to train hard, get opportunities, take 10, 15 games, and maybe work way to the squad.
You're fading in and out a bit, Amondo. Well, as you sort your sound out, I'm just going to do the comments, if you don't mind. So we've got Hydro, who's saying, good evening, all. Agile is saying, do we have a buyback option for Fish? I hope so. We got Tyrone. We've seen him earlier. And here's his brother, Andrew, saying hello. We deserve better, agrees Mr. T. Mr. B, I think that... No, that's you, Tyler. Trey, sorry. Forgive me. Everyone's a Mr. now. I think Cass rotates with Kobe as an 8. Oh, look who it is. It's Dora. Off exploring somewhere. We got Revers back again saying Ten Hag has good options now. No excuses. I agree. And if you are new here and you like the content, please give us a like and a follow or a sub or whatever would do your best to give you decent content. Monday, let's Yabba, let's test your mic. How's the dog?
Dogs are doing great. I love them so much. If you haven't got a dog, get some dogs because they're the best friends you can ever have.
Excellent. And they're also great for like new identities. Every trophy is important.
And passwords. Whoops.
And passwords. And Tyrone says, don't mention it. Once I've done my film, I'll commit to coming on soon. Oh, it'd be great to have another film star on. We did better, like Shiratori, just for the name. Fish got elite like a salmon. See what you've done there, sir. Very nice.
Sardine.
What did he look like again on one day? One day said he looked like
sardine.
It wasn't a sardine.
It's a mackerel.
Was it a mackerel?
It's sardine, I'm sure.
No, you corrected it to sardine, but you said something else before.
You said something really ridiculous on one day.
Big up Angel Gomez, he got injured. Yes, he had a terrible injury at the weekend. I hope he's doing well. Head injury, taken to hospital, oxygen, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Best wishes for him. And look who it is. It's Brenny K, 74. Evening, gents. Big up yourself. Big yourself up. Lovely to see you here again. The ones that make it elsewhere, we have a load of buyback clauses and percentage sell-on fees. So it's kind of a win-win for all parties.
We put one on Palestri as well.
Yeah, I know. Do you not think it feels a bit different, though, for like proper academy graduates and not players like Palestri that we brought in into the first team? Like, I hope we don't turn into Chelsea or City and just use our academy to piss about with accountancy.
You know what? I don't think we will. I think just our history dictates that that's not what we're about.
No.
I mean, the thing is, Chelsea are selling their players for some stupid.
Like bro, he's going Ipswich for 30 million. That guy has not been fit fully since I don't even know, like at least 3 or 4 years. Like his best time is 9 goals and he's going for 30 million. But we're struggling to get 30 million for like McTominay. It's weird. Like I don't know how they do it. I don't know how.
It might be the structure of the deal, to be honest. It might be like it's only like 7 up front, and if he scores more than 10 goals, it's 20 million or something.
I think Ipswich say if they avoid relegation, then they have to pay the money or something.
Obligation to buy. Yeah.
It's what they're doing to Gallagher, Chalobah. Now Raheem Sterling has been forced out.
And you know what they've done with Sterling? They've given his shirt number to Neto.
Neto, yeah.
Oh, well, you can bring out Anthony Martial and have a cry about it. Like,
yeah, but at least Anthony Martial got a different shirt number. Sterling's got nothing. His shirt number, he's blank.
Yeah, I thought Sterling did all right for Chelsea, to be honest. I remember like Rashford and Sancho got called into the England squad, and Sterling didn't, and Sterling was on far better form. I feel a bit sorry for him. I think he's an all right player.
It's just a Chelsea thing, isn't it? I just think like the way they chip and change the squad and managers, so it's just like I had a feeling this was gonna happen with Sterling, but it was I just don't know. I think going there was probably the wrong move to do because you just know what Chelsea's regime is. You probably would have been maybe better off going Arsenal, maybe because they ain't got a lot of attacking depth in that wide area. So,
well, at least they're taking over like the worst owned and run club in the country for us, which is nice. Right, what else have we got here? Okay, I don't want to talk about Chelsea, to be honest. We're a United show. But Double A is saying if Palestri does good, he'll come back or be sold for a bigger fee. Hopefully, we get a decent chunk from that deal. I wouldn't get him. I wouldn't expect a big fee from a Greek club. Steph, this is right up your street, Yabba. What's the exchange rate for sterling?
Very good.
No, well,
that is such an Amonde joke. I mean, Yabba. Yabba joke.
All right. Well, I think we're coming to the end of the stream now, unless anyone has something that they would like to talk about.
What's on the menu for the rest of the week? Because when is the game?
Saturday morning, 12:30.
Saturday morning. Oh man, is it on Sky?
By then.
No, it'll be on TNT. The Saturday morning game, TNT.
Okay, I need to get my thing sorted. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Brighton.
It's bank holiday, isn't it? As well.
But we'll see. Are we doing a preview show tomorrow?
What day is it tomorrow?
Thursday.
It's Thursday tomorrow. Yes, there'll be a preview show, but I think I'm off on Friday. Mr. B, you can't do the watch along on Saturday.
No, Saturdays are impossible for me to do. I've got other commitments on a Saturday, so we'll talk about that privately. There's no point in talking about that. But yeah, there should be. Hopefully, we'll get something up. Andrew. It might not necessarily be us, but we will get something up.
Okay. What about? Can I ask guys in the chat maybe if you can give us a video prediction or something like that we can set up for the show? Or,
let's get that going. Yeah, you know what?
We want more involvement, more participation from you guys. I mean, we've got Trey back on. We dusted him off and he's brought him back on. So, guys, especially Tyrone, Andrew Williams, I'd love to have you on the show. Stephanie Griffiths. If you ever want to appear on the show, come and join us. We've made you feel comfortable. It's like you're in our living room every night of the week. You know, I feel like we know you personally. So if you want to come on the show and appear on the show, there's always a slot for you guys. And
you don't even. We keep saying it as well, Monday. Sorry, you don't even have to have your camera.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have your camera. So
if we know you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah.
And where would people send video predictions to, Yaba?
Well, maybe we could set up a WhatsApp group for you guys, and send us your phone number message us, send us your phone number, and we have a WhatsApp group, and then you just send a little 1-minute video or a personal video.
Twitter.
Can't get the videos off Twitter.
I can.
Send them to Mr. B on Twitter then.
Yeah. Send them to the agenda on Twitter. I'll make sure that I'm saying I can, but I'm sure I can. I'm sure I've done it already. So yeah.
Yeah. But also, don't feel like to be pressured into doing it. We're a community channel. We'd like to involve a lot of you more and things, and it'll be good. So, Trey, where can we find you and your mother?
So, sorry, the channel all purpose is if you just type in all/purpose66 on YouTube, but you can find me on Twitter, just all things United, just making a bit of banter, being obviously a bit of a joker. On TMJ_171, but yeah, all purpose. As you see there, all/purpose66.
All right, great stuff. And give us a prediction for Brighton before we finish.
Brighton, I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm confident. 3-1.
Wow, are you?
3-1.
3-1, Trey.
I have to back my team. I have to.
Away from home.
I think this year the league's it's not as clear cut. Like I think City will win it because they're getting good the one back and etc. But that's another argument. But I think Brighton, Everton were terrible. I just think Everton are bad, man. I got them to go relegated, man. I think Everton are bad. I think we'll get them. Yeah, 3-1.
Can I just say,
okay,
before we go, Trey, I'll just be looking at your channel. And I think it's good. I think it's great to have your mum as well on there. I'm
not saying no comments about people's mums. You get me?
Yeah.
No, but it's good. I mean, it's more appealing, isn't it, when you get your mum there and you get involved?
There's a different genre of type of thing.
On Instagram, or there's a guy who's an Arsenal fan. He takes his dad's Jamaican. He takes his dad to Arsenal games, and it's probably they're sort of acting it out a bit, but it is funny, the relationship between the two of them, and a bit like have you seen Percy and Christopher Savage we'll
talk about that anyway. We're drifting away from
I like the idea. I've just subscribed to you.
Thank you. All helps. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We will see you tomorrow night for a preview. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Goodbye.